In the last video, we went over what key areas it's important to have for mobility within golf and tennis, our 4 rotational centers, being the neck, the shoulders in external rotation, the spine, and then the hips in internal rotation. The reason we need to have mobility in all these areas is it helps develop more consistent ball striking, more power within our swing, and the biggest thing is longevity, the ability to play the game as long as we want. Now, today we're going to go over how to test to see if you have good mobility in these areas. For the first one, for testing the neck, you're just going to stand nice and tall, keeping your teeth together. You're going to turn your head across your shoulder and then tuck your chin down to your collarbone. You'll have a test or a pass with this one if you have the ability to turn your head all the way across that collarbone, touching the collarbone without dropping the jaw down or hiking up that opposite shoulder. You want to test both sides for this one and see if there's a difference in range of motion on one side compared to the other. For our shoulder external rotation, we're going to set up in a bent over position, having that elbow directly in line with the shoulder. You're going to try to rotate that forearm back as far as you can. This is a pass if you're able to get your forearm past the angle of your spine. It's a fail if you're either in line with the spine angle or even worse, in front of the spine angle. For testing our trunk mobility, we want to have a box or a chair. Ideally, if you have a box or a chair, you want to sit right on the corner so you have a 45-degree angle coming off both sides. Holding something in between the knees to keep that lower body stable. With a stick or a golf club across the shoulders, sitting up tall. I'm trying to rotate. If you can rotate that stick to that 45-degree angle, and that's the minimum that we want to see for our rotation. For the last one, for testing our hip internal rotation, same exact setup from here, knees up against the object. You're going to try to rotate your foot out to the side. And for this one, if you're above the age of 40, you should be able to at least get about 40 degrees of hip internal rotation here. If you're below 40, I like to see around 45 degrees. Test these at home. It helps to have a mirror, but as you go through these, you'll start to know if you have immobilities in any of these areas. And in our next videos, we're going to go over how to correct some of these imbalances.